Hi, welcome to Issues and Insights. I'm your host, Melanie Parker, Marketing Director for the Right Legacy Group. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right in, okay? I want to welcome Katie Baldwin with the Healthy Kids Clinic, and two pharmacists are with us today, Apothecare folks, Gary Ham and Kelly Singer. Welcome. We are going to talk about something very important that affects all of us, and that's immunizations. Right?
Yes.
Let's start with the kiddos first.
Okay.
What can you tell us? What do you do with immunizations for the kiddos here in Hardin County?
So with our clinics here in Hardin County, we are in the schools. We can provide vaccines for all children in the school systems.
That is amazing.
Yes.
As a parent, a grandmother, that's
Yes.
a big deal.
Yes.
Wow. So do you have your own building? Do you have offices there on site at the schools? How does that work?
Yes, all of our schools have school nurses, and we utilize their offices to see the children at the schools if needed. And then we also have a main location where we hold all of our vaccines, and we can always go there and get vaccines and bring them back to our schools where we're needed.
Golly, and you all are not limited to just vaccines. We might as well throw that out there.
Right.
I want folks to know what
Yes.
all you do.
Yes, so we see kids for their wellness visits. That's once a year. And then we also see kiddos who are sick. If parents can't come immediately, we can see their kiddos. We can do strep tests, flu tests. It's basically like a doctor's office inside the school and the school nurse office, which is very convenient for most families.
Oh yes, very convenient. I was telling you all earlier, back when I was growing up, there was a school nurse. Then, unfortunately, when my children were growing up, there was not. So I was at the school regularly between three kids, high school, middle school, elementary school, grabbing kids, take them to the doctors. And you even do doctor's notes and
Yes.
all of that?
So the school nurses will let us know with parental consent if a child needs to be seen. We go see that kid. We do our examinations. We run tests if needed. After the visit, we call the parent, notify the parent that, hey, Johnny's sick, he needs to go home, or Johnny's okay, he doesn't have a fever, he can stay here at school for the rest of the day today.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And so
It
at
really
that
is.
point, we can go move forward, and our hope is to keep these kids who are trying to get out of school to stay in school.
Yes, and that was at least two of the three of mine. Yes, definitely.
But if they're truly sick, by the time the parents typically come pick up the kid at school, we've got their school note, we've got their medication sent to the pharmacy. They pick their kid up and can go straight home.
So you send that to these folks.
Yes.
And then the parents come and see you all. And let's talk about what part you play on immunizations now, because the pharmacists have really stepped up, haven't they, as far as immunizations go?
Yes, that's correct. It's kind of amazing. So we've went from when I got out of school not giving immunizations at all,
Right.
to now pharmacies, the latest statistics show that pharmacies give more vaccines, or pharmacists in pharmacies, than physicians and other practitioners.
I did not know that until today.
Yeah, and the main thing with us, and the reason they did this was, well, first of all, we're trained to do it.
Of course.
But second of all, the accessibility. And so I think that's probably what's nice about this new nurse program in the schools. Not only are there nurses, there's nurse practitioners, so they can kind of complement what we're doing.
Yeah, so parents don't have to make appointments.
Yeah.
They can just go to the pharmacist when Apothecare when
Yeah.
school's about to start. And you all know, I'm sure, what the Hardin County school requirements are.
Right.
And all of that. That is so handy. Boy, I wish they'd had that 15, 20 years ago.
Yes. So I guess both these programs are more accessible. The
Yes.
nurses are more accessible in the schools. Pharmacies are very accessible.
Right.
But we don't want to cut anybody out. And,
Of course.
we just wanted to mention that with pediatric vaccines, one of your best sources is your pediatrician
Sure.
or your nurse practitioner, and then of course there's also the health department, this school nurse program. But for a lot of information, I just wanted to bring up the CDC website.
Please.
Has a wealth of information for parents.
Wonderful.
So
And
they
I'll share
can-
that at the end as well.
Yeah, and they can go to that website. I mean, it has everything as far as why you should vaccinate, how to make it easier on the child and make them more comfortable to get vaccinations, because they're a lot of times they're apprehensive.
Right.
So,
Wow, okay. So Kelly, he talked about why you should vaccinate. Do you all get challenges from people? I mean, are you aware, are there parents that choose not to vaccinate here in Hardin County? Does anyone ever come and talk to you all about that? The side effects and long-term effects and those types of things, when they're on the fence trying to decide if that's what they want to do?
Right. You know, as a healthcare professional, it's our role to help counsel on those side effects. And I think that's always a concern, not just
Right.
with children, but with adults. We have so many patients that are concerned about what's going to happen afterwards. But we really want to make sure that they're comfortable with their decisions.
Good.
So the risk of those side effects always, you know, the benefit of that's going to outweigh those risks. So we want to make sure that they're vaccinated and protected. So really, vaccines are the best way to prevent certain illnesses that we have, and it's always better to prevent than to treat.
Gotcha.
So-
Gotcha. So the big hot button right now for vaccinations is measles. What's going on? I mean, who wants to tackle that one?
Well, I mean,
It's crazy, isn't it?
is.
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about the concerns with side effects from vaccines. So there's obviously certain populations, certain groups that do not believe in vaccines. There's been, you know, some concern about the risk for autism associated with vaccines. And the CDC has actually done multiple studies with that. And all of those studies have come back that there is no link
Really?
between autism and
All it takes is
vaccines.
one famous person with a lot of ears, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
measles, you know, in 2000, they thought that it was eradicated. That we
Right.
had it gone.
Exactly. I was shocked when I was reading earlier
Yeah.
that it was making a comeback.
Right. So 2014, we had a spike, and now in 2019, this is the most cases we've ever seen. So right now, currently, to date, which it changes,
Sure.
we've got over 1,000 cases
Here in the U.S.?
in the U.S.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I believe 2 of those have been in Kentucky.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it's very contagious, and so the best thing we can do is become vaccinated. So, you know, we can look at your vaccine history. We can see if you need vaccines, especially for adults. Some adults need 1 vaccine, some adults need 2. Just depends upon your risk factors. Are you an international traveler? Do you travel a lot? Are you traveling to these states that have large outbreaks?
Right.
We can look at those things and recommend what you need. Obviously, for children, that's in their schedule.
It's required,
yes.
right, for Hardin
Yes.
County schools?
Yes.
Yes, so we strongly recommend that they get both doses of the measles vaccine to ensure that they have immunity. And that not only protects us, but it protects people around us. So there are certain individuals in the community, those that are on chemotherapy, their immune system suppressed, they can't receive certain vaccines. Children less than 6 months are limited. But by us getting those vaccines, we're able to protect everyone else in the community. So it is a very important
So like
part.
myself, I could come into Apothecary and get a measles vaccine?
Yes, ma'am.
And it would take 2
It's-
staggered or?
Depends on your history, so we look at all that. Most individuals just need 1.
Gotcha. And
As
that's
an
all I'd
adult.
need forever?
Even just as an adult.
And I'm seasoned, but I'm pretty sure I had one when I was in school. But you think I should go ahead and get another one? Would you recommend that to folks?
Well, we have to look at when you got your vaccine.
It was a minute ago.
So actually, so in 1957, so
Okay.
anyone born before 1957, they believe that about 98% of those individuals have immunity.
Ah, okay.
But if you're born after 1957, we need to look at which vaccines you got. There were 2 measles vaccines introduced in 1963. If you got the killed vaccine, it's not effective, so they want you to get a booster. So there's a lot of considerations with this, and we
Sure.
can go over all of those with you.
Great.
But so if you're born after 1957,
I'm safe. I'm good.
definitely a consideration.
Gotcha.
We'll look at that, and those individuals might need an additional
Gotcha.
dose.
Okay. And another thing sneaking up, whooping cough. And
Yes.
I've always thought that was a baby thing, a small child thing. Is that really affecting adults now as well, Gary?
Well, it is, and I'm glad you brought that up. So there's a situation where pharmacy can help.
Okay.
They found that the whooping cough vaccine, as we get older, the immunity has worn off, and the antibody titers have gone down.
Wow.
So they are recommending now that anyone like my age, especially grandparents, that their kids are getting ready to have a baby, to go back and get revaccinated.
Really?
And you can just come in the pharmacy and get that.
I'm just
You-
starting
you
all
know.
over, aren't I? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So here's a case where the grandparents could possibly carry the disease and give it to a young child.
Wow.
So it's kind of the opposite. Instead of the kids getting vaccinated to prevent spreading the disease, we're going back and vaccinating a lot of the adults. And I would just like to bring up,
Please.
With the internet, there's a lot of information on there, and there's also a lot of misinformation.
Right.
So
It's
go
scary for you all, I'm sure, the information people come in with.
So go to a reliable source. Like
Right.
the CDC is an excellent source. That stands for the Center for Disease Control.
Sure.
It's run by the federal government, of course, and that website has a lot of information, and it's very scrutinized and made sure that it's accurate. And that's a good source. But yes, it's like you're saying, we've had the hepatitis A outbreak. Now we're looking at measles, the Tdap, which is the whooping cough. Are there any other ones I'm leaving out? But
Is there
right
a
now they're
list
kind
that
of
people should just come in and say, I want all of those? Or should we wait until measles is an issue, or whooping cough is an issue, or hepatitis A is an issue? What do you think? Should we just all come in and say, give me what I need, just in case?
If it was me, I would. And so
Yeah,
I practice what I preach. I've
Sure.
had these vaccines. So,
Okay.
I just wrote a list here of some of the ones we're seeing. Of course, we mentioned Hep A, measles, whooping cough, pneumonia, shingles is another
I've had
one.
that, and it is horrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Horrible.
And that's another one where adults could maybe be exposed to a child
Yeah.
that maybe has chicken pox and maybe pick up a case of shingles if they haven't been vaccinated.
Right.
So my mom picked it up, but she had been vaccinated, so her case was not very bad at all.
good, good.
But then my wife and I went and immediately got it, so
Sure.
we didn't pick it up. But no, I would say, like Kelly had mentioned before, prevention is the best.
Yes, especially
Best.
when it comes to shingles. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, people, get that shot.
And I just want to emphasize, Americans are used to being so healthy, and they don't see a lot of things. But
We're not real proactive, though, are we? Yeah.
No. But these diseases or infections are some of them are very serious.
Right.
Measles is very contagious, and it can have some very bad consequences, including death.
Sure.
So it's not something to be taken lightly.
Right,
Yeah.
and like the flu, I've never taken the flu shot. I've never taken it, and now I've said that,
Yeah.
and I'll see you all very soon. Because some people, I think, are more susceptible to it, pneumonia. I just, it's stick your head in the sand kind of thing. I don't want to do it, but
Right.
I think being proactive is especially as you get older. When you're little, and when you get older, and everything in between. You really didn't get those immunizations. So basically, you all are just enhancing services that are in place with pediatric offices, regular family practice offices. You're certainly not taking anything away from anybody because the lines are long everywhere, especially when it comes back, you're going back to school. And so a parent can show up at Apothecare and say, I have this kindergartner who's going to start in 3 weeks. Fill her up, give her everything she needs. You all can do that? You have the forms and everything?
So in Kentucky, pharmacists are only allowed to vaccinate for 9 years and up.
Gotcha, okay,
So
good to know.
Now, anyone less than 9 years of age, we would need a prescription from their doctor's office. So if
Okay.
their doctor's office doesn't carry a particular vaccine,
Or they're out of something?
yeah, if they're out
Okay,
of something,
that's
they can
happened.
just call us, give us a prescription, we can get it taken care of for that
Wonderful.
patient. But we really try to ease the access. Now, right now, we are limited to 9 years and up, but we do try to screen those patients as they come in to make sure that they're, first off, aware of what they need to be receiving,
Sure.
and that they have access to that.
Good, good.
I would say right now, pharmacists and pharmacies, as far as pediatrics, are kind of a safety net.
Gotcha.
I think the best place for vaccinations for pediatrics is still their pediatrician, the school nurses and the nurse practitioners, and the health department, I believe, still gives vaccines.
Sure.
So
So
there's
pediatrics be plan A, plan B, plan C.
yes.
That sound about
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Do you have a lot of kiddos that start school and their parents are not prepared with the vaccines, and you all can take care of that for them?
Certainly. We just started in January, and I foresee that come August. Summer happens, vacations happen, life
Sure.
happens. kids will come to school August 1st.
Well, first-time mom doesn't know what she doesn't know.
Kindergartners, 6th graders, you need to have a physical done for those kiddos, and even preschool as well. So they need a physical form. They need an exam. They also need to make sure they're up to date on all their vaccines required for school. So in those events that, yes, we will be available, we highly, highly encourage these kiddos to go see their pediatrician, their primary care doctor to get those things. But we're there, again, as a safety net to catch those kiddos who don't necessarily have a pediatrician or don't have the means to get to their doctor.
Gotcha. And what about, this word, insurance? So everybody knows about insurance, or enough to get them in trouble or aggravated. Do you all take care of children that are not insured?
We see every child, no matter their insurance, no matter if they have insurance or not. We see every kiddo. We're not, I believe come August, we will be able to have vaccines. We currently have vaccines for private insurance kiddos. Come August, my hope is that we will also be able to give vaccines for children program, which is those kiddos who have passport.
Gotcha. Okay, wonderful. And you folks, is insurance immunizations required when you have those? Can people pay if they don't have insurance, just pay for the shots? Are they affordable? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they can. The accessibility of pharmacy, when we first started giving vaccines, the coverage on insurance was limited, but now I would say most insurances are covering most vaccines in the pharmacy for adults.
Ones even. Really?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Now we still have a few that don't cover it. They still may require you to go to your physician's office or some other source. But it's like everything else. There's so many programs like the children's vaccine program is a whole separate program from traditional insurance, and it's mainly aimed at children and passport and some of those programs. With adults, you know, they pretty much will cover flu, pneumonia, whooping cough, measles, Hep A.
Wow.
We've
That's good business for them to do that, to be proactive.
Yes, yes.
Yes, if someone gets sick and winds up in the hospital, they're going to be paying a lot more money than an immunization.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
It's better for everyone. It's better for, you know, it saves the healthcare system money.
Yes.
Prevention. The patient, of course, is not going to get sick, so it's much better for them.
Right.
So, yeah, it's come a long way. But if as a last resort, you can come in and pay cash.
Okay, as a last resort.
Yeah.
But just about everyone, if you do not have insurance through your employer, through the state, there's always some way, some avenue to be insured in some way. Even if it's Medicare as you get older, or passport when you're younger. There's really no excuse not to be insured at this point. There's a lot of avenues for that. Wonderful. So have we covered all the services that you cover? Is there anything else you want to throw out there that people might benefit from?
No, I think I've covered it all.
Gosh, and it was a lot.
It was, yes.
That's exciting. It's a new program, right?
Yes. We started in January in the schools. This program's actually has been in place for almost 5 years in other counties.
Gotcha.
So we are, come August, we are going to have 94 school-based sites with our company, which is amazing.
Wonderful.
So they really, truly do it for the benefit of the kids.
Sure. And you yourself are a nurse practitioner, so you see the kiddos right here in Hardin County?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes. And apothecary, we talked immunizations. You all are popping up. I'm seeing you through the community, which means business is good. You all are doing something right.
Well, we've got the county covered. We have 5 locations, you know, E-Town, Ratcliffe, and Vine Grove.
That's amazing.
Very accessible. Even have Sunday hours at one of the stores. You can come into any of our stores at any time without an appointment and get vaccinations.
Wow.
So
I'm going to have to, I live in Vine Grove, so I guess I'm going to pay those folks a visit.
We have a location in
with
Vine
a list.
Grove.
We do.
With my list. I want all of these. And hopefully I can get them all at once and just get it over with. Are there any other services that apothecary covers, or have we covered it all?
We offer a lot of different services.
I know you do.
Immunization is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right,
So
I know you do.
we really try to make sure that the whole, health of that patient is taken care of. So we look at, clinical services as far as medication therapy management to make sure that they're taking their medication on time on a regular basis. If they have obstacles to do that, we do medication to spill packaging. So they're little blister packs that the patient can take out on a daily basis. And that really helps keep them compliant, which obviously improves outcomes.
Sure.
So we want the best for our patients. We know most all of our patients by name when they come in. I get to know them on a personal basis.
That's a big deal.
I know when they have grandkids. I know when they need their Tdap shot.
Right.
So, yeah, we love our patients and we try to do everything we can for them.
And that personal relationship is why you now have expanded to 5 locations in Hardin County.
We've tried to become more than a pharmacy. When we went in business 21 years ago, we wanted to give total pharmacy care, and that's kind of been our goal, and we're doing a real good job. And I just want to mention too, if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. We have a delivery service.
Really?
And last year we started doing off-site clinics. So we actually have gone to businesses and done Hep A clinics, flu clinics. You even did a measles clinic, didn't you?
We did.
So employers are starting to realize,
Yes.
if you have a factory with 500 employees and you have a big flu outbreak, that can kind of shut you down and hinder
Sure.
business. So they have found that, if they just provide an on-site clinic through us and get their employees vaccinated,
Wow.
that it's much better.
That is great information.
Yeah.
I am so glad you shared that. So,
Yeah.
and we are rich with factories in Hardin County. We are
Yes.
blessed with a lot of jobs and a lot of factories. 3 different shifts, some of them 2 different shifts. So you all will go out there and take care of those folks on site.
Yeah, and we
Yep.
really try to accommodate on the shift changes. We have a clinical services coordinator. Her name is Sheila, and she helps coordinate this to make sure that it's easy for the employer, it's easy for us to come on site, and there's no worries on their part, and we take care of everything else.
That
Yeah.
is phenomenal. That is wonderful customer service.
Yeah, they could call any of our stores and they could direct them to Sheila or Kelly, and we could set that up for them.
Wow.
But it's just amazed me from when I've got out of school giving no vaccinations to
Sure.
we give so many now. Last year, thousands. Between the Hep A, the flu,
Yeah.
the shingles, there was a new shingle shot that came out. It's just
Right.
it's a whole separate business.
Right. And you do
Yeah.
encourage folks to go online to the right resources.
Yes.
And educate themselves. Come
Yes.
in, and I know you all are very approachable. Ask
Yeah.
any questions because you want to know. You hear so much
Right.
in the media about immunizations. Knowledge is power. And then they can come in, ask questions to you all, and take care of themselves, their children, their seasoned parents, and get it all done. There's really no excuses not to, it sounds like.
No. And to your point, we really encourage that. We liked an informed consumer.
Yes.
Don't just listen to me. Go online, get good information, learn
Good
about
information is key.
it. Yeah, and make
Yes.
hopefully make the decision yourself and feel comfortable about it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. I think we're just about out of time. Is there anything else that you all want to share about your organizations or services, or do you feel like we did a good broad stroke?
Yeah. I would like to make one point.
Please.
Everyone that's worried, we've given thousands of vaccinations and we've never had a serious allergic reaction.
Good to know.
So, when you see it firsthand and given a lot of vaccinations, it is. I feel like it's very safe. The worst thing we've really seen is people maybe get a red spot or a little achy
Sure.
the next day, but vaccinations have really improved the process. Most of them are preservative free now. There's really no excuse not to get it vaccinated.
And with
Yeah.
the internet being at our fingertips now, there's really, if you do have any kind of concerns, you can read up on it and ask lots of questions. Years ago when I was younger and bashful, imagine that, I would just go in, I trust you, you do what you got to do. But now I am okay with asking questions,
Yes.
especially when it comes to my kiddos.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you are there through the school system when the kid needs something at that point. So,
Right.
but your services aren't necessarily like a pediatric office where they call and make an appointment, or can they do that?
The parents can certainly call us and make an appointment, and parents are more than welcome to come to the school nurse office and be present when we're there, just like they
Wow.
would at the doctor's office. Most of the times, a parent's at work, can't get off right away, so it's just more of a convenience.
Yes.
More
Oh,
than
that's a big
anything.
deal.
But we never see a kid without parental consent, and I always call the parents back after the visit to let them know, this is what we did, this is what I found, this is our game plan. So that way parents are always informed, and most of the times I sit and chat with parents for 5 more minutes on the phone, and they tell me lots of stories about they're playing, they need to go back to class, they're fine. So it's kind of funny.
I may have been guilty of that at times.
It's very fun to interact with the students and the parents,
Sure.
but the vaccines that we have given this year, we have found, a lot of parents are always, my kid's really scared of needles. Kids do wonderful, surprisingly, without their
When
parents
I
present.
believe that, I think that we project our anxiety.
Yes.
I truly believe that.
And most of the time, kids don't want to look. They want to look tough at school in front of their friends. So it's
Yeah.
actually a great avenue
Good.
where kids usually don't give us too much
Right.
trouble.
Well, it's in a familiar environment too. They're comfortable with their surroundings. They're at school every day, so it's just get it done and go on. It's not a special going there and this is what's going to happen situation. So I can see what a great service that is. Thank
Yes.
you all. Thank you for
Yes.
your time. We appreciate you, Katie, Kelly, Gary. Thank you for what you do. If anyone has any questions, these are the folks you need to go see or call. We'll have some information at the end about some resources. Trustworthy links where you can find out about those resources. I'm Melanie Parker. Thank you all. Thank you, and we'll see you on Issues and Insights next week.